Welcome back to Real Geek Media. It is Thursday, December 5th, 2024. I'm Hayden Stoll. He is author Christopher Michael Blake. We are back with another review tonight. Christopher, tell us what we have for everyone.
We have blue aliens who run around naked in the forest.
Smurfs.
They very well could be, but that would make me Gargamel. All I need is Azrael. Hayden, you got the cat suit still?
Oh, I put it away after Halloween.
Well, look, get in that litter box. Clean up after yourself. That ecosystem out there in Pandora is dangerous.
Yes. So we have the blue monkeys of Avatar.
Whoa. Don't be racist here now, sir.
No, they even say it in the movie.
No, look, just because they call them that, I'll give you a right to call them that, sir.
So here we are. We got
yeah, right. Now you're thinking about it, like, oh, wait a minute. Maybe that's very wrong. Yeah.
No, I stand by it.
Oh,
listen, you
comments do not reflect.
Listen, you have to pick a side in this film series. You're either a human or you're not. Okay, so
and which are you?
The human side.
Really? So you think that they should have gone in there and just turned into a parking lot?
Well, I agree with Colonel Quaritch, but we're getting ahead of ourselves here. Let's introduce the film. We're back with another James Cameron film, and this is Avatar from 2009. And some interesting things, like I note with this movie, right? It's massive box office success, right? Huge success. Was the number one movie? Is it still not?
I believe it is, unfortunately.
Okay. So the interesting thing I have to say about this is, as popular as this movie franchise is, it doesn't really have like a lasting footprint, right? It comes and it goes, and it's not like Star Wars. It's not like Lord of the Rings. Yeah. It's not like any of those massive Harry Potter, any of those massive franchises where people can return to frequently. You see it, and then it goes away for 3-4 years, and then it comes back, and everybody goes to see it again, and then you just kind of forget about it. It's interesting in that sense. I just find this like for such massive success that it's doesn't really have like a lasting footprint.
I have a theory on that because the movie sucks. But that's just my opinion only. I know I'm wrong, judging by the number of people who went to go see this and Way of Water. And, for me, this is another, shame on them. Bad human in this case. Eco-terrorist type movie where we have to have all the hippie flower people running around telling you that you're wrong for using technology. It's basically Dances with Wolves.
Yes. Which
was actually really done well because in that movie, at least the main characters kind of conflicted for the right reasons.
Yeah.
He's there to do a job, and Costner's making friends with the wolves, and he sees some of what the other people are kind of doing, and it's kind of wrong. And then he's trying to communicate and trying to help out and trying to keep things real calm and peaceful. And that's when kind of he starts adapting the Native American lifestyle at that point. This is like, your brother died. Sucks to be you. We could give you new legs if you want to go ahead and jump in this body. And, oh, yeah, by the way, you fall in love. And, okay. It's just, and then everybody else is bad in the movie except for Michelle Rodriguez and Sigourney Weaver. And by the way, I think Michelle Rodriguez actually did a phenomenal job in the movie.
Yes.
Which was a shock to me because a lot of her movies, especially the Fast and Furious,
I liked her in this movie.
Yeah,
I thought she was good, right? Yeah. Some interesting things, like you have the James Cameron, some of the alien aesthetic a little bit with like the ships and some of the soldiers and their gear, which is, I think, for fans of those types, the Aliens movie, I think that kind of drew people. It drew me in, right? James Cameron doing back science fiction action. I was all into this movie, and I do like these movies. I just don't like I said, they just don't, I seldom ever go, ah, man, I need to watch that again. You know what I mean? Like this is the first time I've seen it in some time.
First time I've seen it in 14 years.
Hmm.
And I'll tell you my second impressions, I guess, because I almost swore I would never watch the movie again after the first time. Visually speaking, it's phenomenal. The scenery, it doesn't look fake or cheesy at all. The aliens really don't look that bad. And there are certain moments, what are they? The Navi, the Neve, the Navi, the Navi.
Yeah.
They look a little awkward, but I mean, okay, I can forgive that with today's green screen technology. The movie, I think, cost $237 to make, and then another $150 for promotion. So, basically almost $400 million.
Mm-hmm.
It was spent well.
Mm-hmm.
It wasn't. They didn't lose any money with this, for sure. That being said, where I have a problem is with the writing. It's like, we just want the minerals because we're humans and we're bad.
And it's called unobtainium, which is such a laughable moment in the movie.
I didn't realize that, but I didn't even catch that. But wouldn't it have been better is, hey, we need that mineral because Earth's power supply is ready to go out, and we're having all these shortages, and this is a sustainable type of energy on Earth that can sustain us. Now, all of a sudden, you kind of raise the stakes a little bit instead of just saying human bad. That to me is just, and that's the comparison with Native Americans. It was kind of like, oh, we're just going to go around and we're just going to take your land. Well, that's not what happened.
Right.
When you go back to American history. So that's just for me is that
good versus evil.
Oh. Yeah,
we just dropped out
again
for a second.
So for me it was it wasn't too bad. It's just not the way they portray it. For us, we came across the sea because we were avoiding religious persecution in America's history. That's why we came here. It wasn't to steal land. It wasn't to, hey, as our numbers grew and we could trade, that wasn't the concept that the Native Americans had. They were being displaced. So, I mean, it's very much revisionist history in America's textbooks too. But, coming over there, we're going to make your planet a parking lot in a mining factory because we're bad people and we're a corporation. It really kind of takes us one-dimensional as human beings, almost as a people.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, it's very like just so basic. Good versus evil. There's not even anything redeeming. That they really put out there for
I disagree humans. I disagree with that too, because it's a slap in our face too. Because you look at what we do when we go to third world countries, we set up schools, right?
Mm-hmm.
And they're religious-based schools, especially in Africa. We give them Bibles. So what of course do we do on Pandora? Oh, we sent Sigourney Weaver and her crew over there. We had them dress up in avatars, and we opened up schools over there so we could teach them English and civilize them.
Yeah.
Oh, really? Gee, I wonder where he got that idea from. I mean, is that what we do in Africa? I don't necessarily think that it is, but I mean, for me, it's more humanitarian. Like, hey, we're over there to feed people and clothe people and give them medicine and perform surgeries. So, again, I think he's kind of missing that aspect of things. Instead, we're just over there to, hey, we're trying to civilize you guys to avoid war so we can go ahead and steal your stuff still.
Yeah. I said, I don't think he's trying to make anybody think twice. There's a clean line. Good is on this side, bad is on that side. And, it's not complicated. It should be complicated when you think about it. It should be a little more than, they're just evil. they're just taking our land. It should be more complicated, like you're alluding to, and there should be more depth to that part of the story. I 100% agree. You know, I like the dances with wolves. Pocahontas. It's the similar themes that he's doing and watering down, really, to make this family movie in a sense. You mentioned the visuals, and I thought it's just stunning. The first time I saw this, it was just the scene where Jake jumps off the cliff down the waterfall. Just was like a wow moment for me. When I watched this the first time, I still remember that. And it was just like when I first saw Jurassic Park, it was like, wow, like when you get that level of special effects, that scene, he's jumping off the waterfall, and it was like, wow, that was pretty good achievement. What they did with the effects in this movie, and just the innovation that, Cameron had to put together shooting essentially, in that computer environment. They're all wearing the suits with the little markings all over it. I mean, that's innovative stuff. And, for people like Cameron and George Lucas, they innovate, and, you take some of those achievements away, that's what they do, and it's, I don't think you're going to get a lot of other movies shooting similar to this, because the budget for this thing is pretty hefty, but it really shows what technology can do to make something look pretty real on the screen. The Na'vi interacting with the humans, and, the battles and the landscape and the world building. I thought a lot of it was good. I enjoy stuff like that. I said I draw the same criticism you do, is the story is very weak. It's very light, not in depth. There could have been a lot more there.
The other problem I have with, and I don't know if I'm jumping ahead way too far, too fast. Maybe it's too much criticism and not enough adoration for the movie and the acting that went into it and everything else. The final battle, I know I'm if I'm jumping ahead too fast, pull me back in. They set it up really good. Mm-hmm. I mean, it's very well done. I mean, here they come. It's the final push. The Na'vi have gone to the sky to try to prevent, what is it, the living tree or whatever it is, the soul tree?
The it's like a soul tree.
The herb tree, whatever it is, You understand.
Yes.
So,
yeah.
So we have this, and, people are dying all over the place, and a lot of it's almost like the all is lost moment. You lose the clan leader, his son's, he gets killed. Michelle Rodriguez's character gets blown up, and it's like, oh no, we've kind of lost at this point. And then all of a sudden, oh no, wait, all these different groups and bands are now coming in to fight, and all these, animals from the planet are coming in and attacking all at once. It's like that Avengers scene at the end of Avengers Endgame, right?
Right. Yes.
But
yes,
they actually have to stop and explain to you why that's happening. Oh, look, the planet is revolting against this invasion. It's like, oh, like they couldn't solve the problem on their own, so Cameron kind of had to just like, and that's lazy script writing all at once. It's like, oh yeah, by the way, all movie long, the planets just kind of take it in the ass, and now all of a sudden, during this battle, now we're going to show up, and we're going to rally everybody, all these animals together and stuff, and don't worry about it. Now we're here. What? That to me is just like,
yeah, it's a stretch for sure, man. I agree. Everything up until that part happens, is a good battle. It's a good scene. It's good action.
The one thing that I could not forgive, though, is earlier in the movie during one of the other invasions, when they're getting ready to go and they basically take the bulldozer over this one tree.
Yeah,
they're shooting all these arrows at this cockpit, and all the arrows are just flying off.
Yes.
But now all of a sudden we're shooting from the sky and the arrows can penetrate. And I'm like, oh, really? So it was just the angle that they was having a problem with.
Yeah, they were going right through getting those pilots, right? Yeah, that.
But now it works. It's just, now we're up here, so it works.
Yeah.
Going down.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it's man, it's definitely not like a solid, there's a lot of holes in that stuff. And it's for such a huge movie. I guess a lot of people just forgive it, right? Like for the sake of the action and the entertainment and the effects. You could really sit and you could pick apart a lot of things in this movie. I do want to talk about one of my favorite character in this movie, Stephen Lang.
I was going to mention him. Yeah,
Colonel Quaritch. Oh man, what a great
party crasher! The party crasher.
Great performance by Stephen Lang.
That one on the list here. I got my list here as I'm coming up with movies for next year. Hayden.
There you go.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's. When we meet him, and he gives that briefing to the newcomers, and I mean it's an iconic scene, right? Like here he is, he does not take things lightly. He means business. He's got the scars. He's a guy who's lived in this world and knows how to handle it. And the scene when, you see Jake roll up in the wheelchair and he's bench pressing, plates, he's tough. He's a tough SOB. And, just Stephen Lang just eats up every scene he's in. Great performance.
That's in every movie he's in too. That's not this movie. And the sad part is probably for a guy who's in his late 50s when this movie was made, he puts me and you to shame. I mean, just
he's jacked. He's in great shape. And,
look, if he had the turkey baster, Hayden, it's just who's going to get it first, me or you? That's like the only question at that point.
Yeah. Oh God, yes. See no evil.
There you go. Feel no turkey baster. That's my movie. Yeah.
Yeah. Like they have him, not to get too far off like course.
No, go ahead.
Him. I don't know if a lot of people were aware of, Stephen Lang before this movie. Like he was just kind of popping up in things and this really gave him something to sink his teeth into and, boosted his career for a little span of time to where he was in that. It is a See No Evil, right?
Yes.
To where he's in that and he's fantastic in that movie. Terrifying in that movie. Other performances in here. Sam Worthington, this kind of put him on the map too. He's fine. I don't mind Sam Worthington. Doesn't really do a whole lot of range. It's kind of just one thing.
You are aware of who they wanted first, right, for that role?
No, who is it?
So I'm going to tell you the story. And so they asked this person, they said, very famous actor, by the way. James called him up himself, said, hey, would you like to come out and do this movie? I will give you a percentage of the movie.
Ooh.
If you were to come out and do it. And the actor really wanted to do it because he's like, it's Jim Cameron. And how often do you get to work with Jim Cameron?
Mm-hmm.
He guy makes one movie like every 10 years. And if you miss the opportunity, you can never do it. But he ended up having reshoots on the movie he was currently working on.
Oh, man.
Which was The Bourne Identity. And the actor was Matt Damon.
Wow.
And Matt Damon then goes on to say that if I had accepted the deal, I think it was like 10% of the royalties I would have gotten. He would be a multi-billionaire.
It's crazy. That's crazy. What a missed opportunity. Oh, man.
Now, I'm not a huge Sam Worthington fan. I think he's okay. He just doesn't do anything for me. He's
he's serviceable.
He's bland.
That's about it.
In this movie, he did a decent job. I'm not going to knock him for this one. There are other ones I certainly can.
Yeah.
But for this role in particular, what I had read online was prior to him making this movie, at the time it was just starting to film, he was living out of his car.
Hmm.
So
Big
lucky break, right
Big break.
time,
Yeah.
right place. They didn't get the star they wanted. I'm sure they didn't give him that percentage offer. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, minimum.
Yeah, look, pal, you're just lucky to be holding the coffee on this one.
Pretty much. Yeah,
Uh,
but you know what? Serviceable job. He's a likable. Like he has a little bit of presence where you know you kind of drawn to him. He's likable. You know,
he's so likable. They put him in a blue guy.
you know, but I thought he was fine in it, right? Like you know, he conveyed what he needed to convey. It's not you know Shakespeare.
He felt the
thing I
push and
like.
pull
The thing I
between.
like about him in this role, right? Like he's give or take for me and others, but what I can relate to with him is, especially in the second movie, which I really enjoyed more than the first one because it has like that family aspect to it that you don't really see a lot in movies anymore. And they have like a very strong family unit. And he plays a strong father in the second movie, which I really appreciated. You don't see that a lot in TV and movies anymore. And for that to be basically the plot of the second movie, I thought he did a great job in it. And he really sold you. And you know, and in the emotional scenes, you know, I can relate, and I'm sure you can too, to some of those scenes as a father, right?
I related so much. I turned the movie off halfway through.
You know,
It's just that's just me. I got
listen,
halfway through the second one, and I was like,
I can
I am not
appreciate.
going to donate an extra hour and a half to this. I can't.
I can appreciate when they put things like that, traditional family values in a movie. I appreciate that. So you know, you know, obviously the seeds are planted in the first one. You know, I don't want to get into the second one really, but I liked Sam Worthington in this role. I think he's good.
For me, it was. I'll tell you what I did like about Sam Worthington in this picture. The loyalty he has to show to the captain, you know,
Mm-hmm.
Quach or Queef,
Quarch,
whatever his name is, Quarch, and you know his Navi girlfriend, and the whole culture,
struggle. Yeah,
and the fact that he's being offered his legs back, but he doesn't want to betray the people that he's currently built trust with, and he's willing to let go of ever walking again physically to try to help them out and try to let them know, hey, look, you guys are in danger at this point. Not knowing that, hey, at any second they could pull the switch and I could be a cripple again for the rest of my life and never have this chance to run around and to walk again. That's a hard decision to make.
mm-hmm.
And I almost don't know if they stressed that enough or just enough, or they didn't do it overboard, or again, I could play guessing games with that all day long. At the
It
end of
might
the
be
day,
in the cutting room floor.
I thought they did a good job with
Yeah.
it. Maybe it didn't have to be stressed so much. Another thing I did like about this role, this movie, was Sigourney Weaver.
Yes.
Her opening line when she comes out of the pod is awesome. It almost took me back to Aliens. Remember what it was?
Oh, does she call them numbnuts or something?
Somebody get me a goddamn
Oh,
cigarette.
give me the goddamn cigarette. Yes.
And I almost
yes.
wish they. I almost wish they had said that when they came out of the cryotube in Alien, because it's such
yes,
a great
it feels
line.
like that moment. Yeah, yes,
it's such a great line. It really is, and it's like
she's great. She's great in this.
She was very good in this.
Yeah.
She helped carry this for sure. You know, Giovanni Ribisi.
Yeah, he's playing the Carter Burke role in this movie. Yeah, he was fine. You get we talked about Michelle Rodriguez and you know the little bit part, but she was good in it and believable as like a pilot who kind of second guessing what got her there a little bit. Who was the other guy? The
DJ Qualls guy. It was not DJ Qualls.
Oh, what was his name? The John David Moore is Norm. I thought he was pretty good as like the science guy. You know, he played that well, and he looks the part for that kind of role, right? So the little jealousy he has towards Jake, was interesting, and then they become friends, and that's a nice little side note in the story. He helps him along, he's tutoring him. I thought that stuff is good. It help builds up the characters, and it's nothing crazy. It's like I said, it's not Shakespeare, but it's just enough to see, hey, listen, they're developing a relationship. Was contentious, but now it's not.
So another aspect of this film that I did like, because I can sit here and just poop all over it all day long, and that's not what we're here to do. I mean, this movie does have a lot of value too. At 2.5 hours long, it has its moments where it's like, wow, okay, there is stuff going on. I absolutely love how they take him out to go get the Skyrider, and after he gets it, and he's finally figured out how to fly, the big Godzilla monster almost gets him from above. The one with the pterodactyl,
Yes.
it's like,
yeah.
And then later on, when he hears about how her father's father brought all the tribes together by capturing this thing, he decides that, hey, this is like what I need to do.
That's it. That's the only thing I can do. Yeah.
And that's excellent raising of the stakes in terms of plot. It's like, wow, okay, so we hit this moment. I don't know what to do. There's nothing I can do. I know something has to be done. The bad people are coming, and I have to warn them, but hey, no one's listening to me because I've already let these people down. How do I get them all to listen? And the only way to get them to listen is because they're terrified of this creature and they respect it almost like a deity. I had to go ahead and commune with this thing. And wow, okay, that to me was awesome.
Yeah, that was good. And I like, you brought up the flying scenes. I mean, that was really cool, like to see, right? The first time, now we're almost desensitized to stuff like that, right? Like effects have just been ramped up. But when you saw a scene like that back in 2009, or, it just was wow, just wow moment, just the way they were able to do it. And, the lead up to that scene, is he going to do it? Is he not? And then he gets it, and it's just a shaky ride and down the cliff. It's visually a very impressive achievement. It's just a shame that it doesn't have that lasting footprint. It really is a shame that it just doesn't. It's missing something, right, to connect with people. Like, people go see it, but it's not. You're not going to hear anybody say this isn't your top 5 all-time movies, despite the box office, right?
For me, it's still, how did this movie beat Titanic? I am still not sure about that. I don't know if it's longevity,
it's the adventure, it's the effects, it's the family. You could bring your kids to go see this. It's a wider audience. I think it's more so even just the spectacle of it compared to what 1997 with Titanic came out, which was an achievement in its own, but a better movie.
Look, I'm not going to debate which one's a better movie, not tonight. For me, this movie does have certain points that are really, really good, and it has certain points that it's like maybe it was just too much, or they had to cut some stuff out, or the writers got lazy in certain sections. They're just not strong enough in certain sections. Does the technology hold up for you, though, for this movie, watching it again?
I thought it was fine. Right? Like, it's heavy into, the effects and the environment. And, if you spend a lot of time just kind of scrutinizing some of that, like, the whole movie is that. So, I'm more like, let's just surface level. I think it holds up fine. It's not going to take me out of anything. I appreciate it for what it is. It's fine. How about you?
Before I just go ahead and answer your question, I just want to say that I did read somewhere that Cameron had this guy who wrote the dialogue for the movie, the Na'vi dialogue. The guy created his own language for the Na'vi. 1,000 plus words. Now, I can't imagine that hiring a linguist to go in there and do something like that would be easy to do.
Yeah.
So that being said, I have a tremendous amount of respect for this movie, but for me, the most important part of this movie for me, rewatching it after 15 years of not watching it, was how bright everything was, and how well done the CGI and it was, and the planet itself, and nothing looked fake. Even when they're up there flying around the helicopters around those floating islands.
Yeah.
It almost looks real. Like if I was not watching, if I was not watching in a movie, I would think that that was real. So for me, that's part of movie magic. And, the only thing you mentioned Jurassic Park earlier, and the only thing I can hope is that the dinosaurs come and save us from AI. So that's the only thing I can kind of hope at this point.
AI is going to program the dinosaurs. We're screwed.
They had trading cards like that back in
this
the
is why we this is why we left Earth to go venture out into the world of Pandora. Oh man. Yeah.
Any other thoughts on Pandora?
I like this movie for what it is. I enjoyed it. It's a long rewatch. It was long, but I enjoyed it. I'm a big Cameron fan. I just wish that, like I said, I just wish that there was this movie had that little something that these other franchises have, where, it's like a timeless thing. Like I said, the Star Wars, the Lord of the Rings. This should be up there with that, but it will never achieve that.
Even though it's number one.
It's despite the box office, it's just missing something that connects people.
My opinion on this movie has not changed. I would not spend another 2.5 hours rewatching this. I just finally got around to start watching Lawrence of Arabia.
Oh yeah, guys, nice.
Yeah, I know we had talked about it because it just hit theaters recently.
Did you get to the part where he meets the blue people?
No, that part I missed.
Gotcha. You didn't get there yet.
My daughter was watching certain parts of the movie with me, and she actually hung in there. I was quite impressed. For a movie that was 60 years old, visually speaking, it's amazing to watch. The sand dunes,
yes,
and the sea of sand, and the mountains and the valleys, and it's breathtaking, the cinematography that goes on, and none of that's CGI back then.
No,
that's all on location, scouted. The director, hours of shooting, I'm sure, to get the right feel. And I look at this, and I look at what Cameron did here, and I bet you he put his life's blood into this film. And it shows. For that, I can respect it, but at 2.5 hours long, I wonder almost if he had made the movie an hour and 45 minutes, would it have a different feel?
It would make more money.
The only reason I say that is because you look at Star Wars, you look at, I almost think Lord of the Rings suffers from this too, that franchise, where it's just too long. You're sitting in the theater for 3 hours and you're like, I mean, am I wrong? It's almost
I don't
much.
See, I didn't really feel the time aspect of it, right? And in the theater, I don't think I felt that either. Same with Lord of the Rings, because it's entertaining enough. You do run a risk when your movie is long of fatigue, but box office says otherwise. It didn't hurt it.
You get your money's worth, and that's what they're banking on. Is what we're going to charge you $16.50 a ticket, but hey, you're getting 3 hours or 2 hours and a half. You're essentially getting 2
movies. Yeah.
Whereas you go to see a regular horror movie or a regular movie on a comedy, it tops out hour 40 minutes, hour and a half, hour 40 minutes max. It's not going beyond that. They don't want to go beyond that.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's my gut feeling is this thing just probably went, a little too long.
I think part of it is, he planned this thing as what, like 5 movies, 6 movies.
Really, I did not know that.
So I'm sure he's got so many things that didn't make the cut that could fill another movie, that he maybe even carried some of that over into the second movie. It's this is his passion project. So, I think going in, he knew he had a lot of story or things that he wanted to cover, but I think the proof is, how people reacted to the first one. If people didn't show up, what would this even get? 3 or 4 sequels? For as much as it costs to make? I don't know. But people responded. So,
yeah,
it's hard to say. I don't think people are too worried about the runtime with this type of movie.
Final thoughts.
If you haven't seen it, it's worth seeing at least one time. And I think at this point, people have seen this. I don't think there's a lot of people that have not seen this movie. At least once. It's worth it just for the spectacle the first time.
I have yet to hear anybody say this is my favorite movie. Again, despite box office success, that's just my gut feeling. But again, I hate to say this, we're kind of old now, Hayden. We're no longer spring chickens. Or we're not really in with the in crowd anymore. We're not hanging out at the playgrounds, thankfully.
Hello, fellow kids.
No, we're finding out what they're kind of watching on television. Everything today is, and I hate to say this, it's Netflix.
Mm-hmm.
And if you don't get me in the first 10 minutes,
yeah,
I'm changing the channel. And again, for me, this just went too long. I mean, and I got to the second one. I got an hour and a half in, and I was like, the kid's riding a whale now. Okay, I just said I can't do this. I can't.
Another $1 billion movie, though.
Oh,
so I think you're in the minority with that.
It could just because I'm not Jim Cameron, but hey, he doesn't have my shiny head either, So, all right, Hayden, here we go. Thumbs up or thumbs down? You like it?
Up.
Thumbs up. I got just for the visual aspect, and I introduced Hayden to the party crasher himself back in college. I made him sit down and watch the movie The Hard Way. And he fell in love with the actor. So what was his name again? It's eluding me. Old age, man. I'll tell you.
Captain. Oh my God, we just said
Quitch.
it. We just said it. Stephen Lang.
Thank you. He's one of my favorite movies. Gettysburg, by the way. It's a phenomenal movie.
Yes.
So again, I got to say, go see it if you haven't seen it. But once you see it,
it's worth it one time. It's worth it.
Okay, that's what most females say. But from author Christopher Michael Blake, author of the Cape May Murders, comes his new mystery novel, Trespass Against Us. When he's confined to his home for vehicular homicide he couldn't prevent, author Brendan Peters, a flawed writer, must dodge his own guilt and threat of arrest when he witnesses a mysterious neighbor disposing of a body, forcing him to a dangerous game of cat and mouse with deadly consequences. Trespass Against Us will be released on February 1st, 2025, and will be available on Amazon.com and at ChristopherMichaelBlake.com. Hayden, is your business looking for an affordable way to gain and attract new clients?
It is.
So what I'm going to do is I'm offering for all our new clients, if you want to come on and be a part of our advertisement here, Hayden will pierce his nipples for every sponsor that we get.
I only have 2.
2's enough for me. 2's enough for me. You can go to, I will MapQuest you Hayden's directions to his house and live on air. And by the way, this is some rinky-dink, operation. I'm going to give him a 99-cent sewing needle kit and a lighter, and he can They can do it manually, just like that. No antiseptic, no cleaning solution. Trips to the
Overrated.
hospital. Look, there's going to be an infection guaranteed. Real Geek Media and Entertainment is now offering sponsorships to be able to do that to Hayden on their podcast. Hayden, what's a sponsorship and advertising with us cost? Do you know?
$30.
I just went to McDonald's tonight. It was $26. That's using their mobile app. That's for 2 people. I could have got a month worth of advertising right there on a show where we're talking about the biggest blockbuster in our lifetimes, Avatar. So consider running an advertisement with us during one of our podcast shows. That's right, just $30. Visit realgeekmedia.com. Click on the link for sponsor us, advertise with us, or donate here to get started again. That's www.realgeekmedia, REEL, geekmedia.com. By the way, in case you didn't realize, that's our picture up above us. Hayden, we're going to go over the box office totals. This is the last one for the year. We do want to go ahead and promote next week. We have Black Av Films. They have a series out on YouTube right now called Flicker. I think they're on episode 4. I have to sit down and watch all the episodes. I started watching the first one. These talented group of New Jersey filmmakers. One of the guys grew up in my hometown, by the way. Just a couple years younger than me. I didn't even know him. I mean,
Interesting.
I had no idea. So we started talking about where he was from and everything. They just completed filming their movie Swine and Dine, starring Mark Haynes, Michelle Santiago. They raised over $6,000 on Indiegogo to go ahead and film this thing. They're going to be here talking about their success, where they see their film production crew going next, what their background is. By the way, they've been involved in a lot of movie shoots. They were involved in Stream. That was just put out, starring Tim Curry. So, yeah, I mean, these guys are going places. We're going to have them on, just talking about where they see their production coming going. And can you say his name, Hayden? I know I'm still kind of.
Yes, we have Ferenc Gregor.
Ferenc Gregor.
Down the in the on deck circle.
Talented master carver, right? Is that what he does? He does carvings.
He's a jack of all trades.
Movie producer. Right now, he's currently filming his own movie. It's a 3-part anthology. Working 24 hours a day. We just got off a conference call with him. Very, very, very talented. Can't wait to have him on. He'll be on in January. Yes. So we got big things coming for Real Geek Media coming into 2025. We're finishing up strong, and we're going to start off even better. Hayden, one of us did not fare so well for the box office projections. This is our last box office projection. We won't be doing one next week. We're going to have our kind of wrap-up show for the year. I can't believe our first season's over. I can't believe it. That to me is like, do we have like a congratulations button somewhere, like a cheers?
Yeah, we can pop that up.
I mean, I think one's almost deserving for that. That's like a milestone achievement. The fact that we. Hayden, here are the numbers. Here we go.
All right, let's go.
Red one. Hayden, you guessed 38 million.
38.
Travis guessed 17. I almost went with the dollar more. It was 39 million. Hayden, 32.1.
Wow.
You hit it. 1-0.
32.1.
Then came Wicked. We knew this one was going to be a big one. The question was, how big could it be? Travis guessed 34. I guessed 58. You guessed 75. Hayden, do you know the number?
So 100? Over 100?
112.
Man, that's wild.
Get ready for Wicked 2. They're not letting this one go.
No.
Did you see what Ariana Grande made for the movie?
Was it 14 million?
I thought it was 10.
Okay.
I thought it was at least 10. and her co-star only made, I think, was it 3 million or
Yeah,
300,000?
much less.
Yeah, I mean, she was great in the Outsider, by the way, the TV show on HBO. She's phenomenal in that. She's a very good actress.
I'm not familiar with her work.
Yeah, I know some of the press release stuff has been kind of wonky between the two of them.
I'm trying not to watch any of that.
Yeah, I'm not
It's
either.
a little off-putting.
The actual retail number was 112. Hayden, you took 2 for 2 here.
That's a lot for a musical.
Look, it's not just a musical, Hayden. We have to drop a house on somebody to make this kind of production happen. Gladiator 2.
Yes. Christmas movie.
Yes. Now, again, how much was Wicked going to kind of take away from this movie? I guessed an awful lot. I went with 27 million.
Yeah.
Travis guessed 25. You said no holds barred
50
million.
Yes.
The actual retail number, Hayden, was
55.
55. Hayden, you went 3 for 3. You went into the elimination chamber.
Wow.
And you came out unscathed. You pinned everybody.
I'm going for the title.
You have the title, sir. You have the title until 2025.
Oh,
we
man.
come back, and I'm going to come back, and I'm going to be like Tyrese. I'm going to have that thing right here on Real Geek Media. It's going to be on my shoulders. And I'm going to impersonate the Macho Man every chance I get.
Listen, just for that, you got to get the Slim Jims.
Coffee.
I need you to turn around and do this. And
dig it.
We got to get Mean Gene to interview you.
Look, give me a mustache and I'll be Mean Gene, okay? Macho Man, can you tell me what you're saying backstage about Miss Elizabeth? Wow. So before we call our final review of the movies for 2024, I have to ask for next week, just to come up with a short list, what are the best movies you did see? What are the worst movies you saw?
Mm-hmm.
You know,
we want to do 5 each.
I think 5's a bit much.
Best 3, top 3.
And I hate to say this. It's my opinion. Take it for what it's worth. I saw a lot of movies this year.
Yeah.
And the problem I have with them is I don't know if I could come up with more than 3 movies that were really good.
That's fair.
I'm not saying a lot of movies are terrible. I think a lot of them were just kind of...
Well, even so, even if they were all crappy, you got to pick the top of the crap heap.
Like, I was on Instagram, and I was communicating with somebody who's raving about Conclave. And it was a decent movie. I don't think it was best movie material in any other year except for this year. Will it probably be nominated? Will it probably win a bunch of awards? Yes, I thought Ralph Fiennes will probably win Best Actor. I even am going to be so bold as to say that Stanley Tucci should be nominated for Best Supporting Actor and probably win that.
I didn't realize he's in that.
Yeah, he does an amazing job in the film, actually. He's better than John Lithgow, in my opinion, in the movie. That's saying something because John Lithgow is an amazing actor.
Yeah.
But just because it's a lot of conversation, a lot of dialogue. But any other year, I just don't feel this would be like. I remember like last year it was Oppenheimer, and Oppenheimer blew me away.
Yeah.
It was like I called after I watched the movie that Robert Downey Jr. was going to win Best Actor. So that's the kind of. I'm sitting here looking at what's coming up, and I'm like, show me what else is coming out this year that's going to be nominated. And I'm not seeing it.
Yeah.
There's nothing out that's like, oh, wow, I have to go see this. I'm like, yeah, I'm mailing in until January 25 at this point.
It's fair. That's fair.
Yeah.
So you want to do like the top 3, worst 3?
Yeah. I mean, like, I wouldn't, I don't think more than that or less than that's necessary. And then, because we're going to be making some announcements in terms of what we're going to be watching in 2025 too. And Hayden, could you give me one movie off the top of your list that you're for sure going to nominate for 2025 to watch?
Ooh, I have it all written down on my notebook and my backpack.
First one. That's right. I kept mine, by the way.
Heat.
Wow. Okay.
It's
Good
it's
choice.
it's an anniversary. I think 35 or 30 year anniversary for Heat.
I have the sequel sitting on my desk to read, and I just haven't gotten time to
Yeah, Heat
get
was on
to
my
it.
list. Heat was on my list.
She got a great ass, and your head shoved way up in it.
Oh God, yeah, that's gonna be fun. That's gonna be a fun one.
I'll give you one that I picked. It's an older movie. I had not seen it, so I'll be going into it cold. And if you have, that's great. I have not seen it. Alfred Hitchcock's The Birds.
I've seen it, but I was probably in my teens the last time I saw it.
So I mean, it's something I've always wanted to watch. And I
Hitchcock,
said,
I like it. I like it.
why not? I've watched a lot of
Yeah.
Hitchcock movies. I love Rope. That's one of my favorites. Psycho, of course, is pretty good. But I've never seen The Birds, and it gets a little acclaim. And I'm just like, you know what?
Yes.
Why not go for it?
Let's do it.
And look, what's better title would be than the Birds shit all over the Geeks?
There you go. There you go.
With those thoughts, with those final thoughts for tonight, Hayden, we'll get to
There
the
we
news. I'll get you out
There
of
we
here
go.
early.
So stick around. We'll be back with the news shortly. Again, this was our Avatar review. Hope you liked it. Thanks for watching, and we will return in a moment.